Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican political leader and activist who became a powerful voice for black pride and economic independence in the 20th century. Born in August of 1887 in Jamaica, Marcus Garvey's early years were deeply influenced by his father, who had an extensive library filled with history, philosophy, and literature. As a young man, Garvey worked as a printer's apprentice, a job that would prove crucial in shaping his career. Printing gave him skills and ideas that he would never have had if he hadn't been exposed to that career. Before coming to the United States, Garvey traveled extensively in Central and South America. He worked as a journalist in Costa Rica and Panama, observing the harsh conditions faced by black laborers, particularly those working on plantations and construction projects. These travels opened his eyes to the exploitation and discrimination black people faced worldwide, strengthening his belief in the need for a united front for black empowerment. Exploitation was evident in every place he visited, shaping his understanding of the global black experience. Garvey saw firsthand how deeply rooted colonialism and racism were across nations, and he began to form a philosophy that transcended borders. He concluded that for black people worldwide to be free from exploitation, they needed unity, economic independence, and pride in their heritage. This realization fueled his work when he came to America, where he found similar injustices affecting black community. Garvey's travels reinforced his belief in the necessity of a global movement, culminating in his message through the Universal Negro Improvement Association that black people must unite, uplift one another, and break the cycles of exploitation. When Marcus Garvey came to America in 1916, he encountered a black community experiencing extreme racial discrimination and violence in the era of segregation. The systemic challenges African Americans faced reminded him of the exploitation he had witnessed throughout Central America and the Caribbean. Inspired by Booker T. Washington's teachings on black self-reliance and empowerment, Garvey saw an opportunity to put his vision into action on a much larger scale. Garvey established the Universal Negro Improvement Association in Harlem, the UNIA, as a platform to uplift and unite people of African descent worldwide. He began giving electrifying speeches advocating for black pride, economic independence, and a vision of self-sufficiency rooted in a shared African heritage. His newspaper, The Negro World, quickly spread his ideas across America and beyond, urging black communities to build their own businesses and support one another. In 1919, Garvey launched the Black Star Line, a shipping company aimed at creating direct trade routes between Africa and the African diaspora. This ambitious project was not only an economic venture, but a powerful symbol of black autonomy, as Garvey encouraged African Americans to imagine a future connected to Africa through commerce and mutual support. The Black Star Line was an unprecedented endeavor, drawing significant support from those who shared his dream for economic liberation. Despite his growing influence, Garvey faced resistance from various quarters. Some black leaders, such as W.B. Du Bois, criticized his approach, particularly his focus on a return to Africa, which they saw as impractical. Additionally, the U.S. government viewed Garvey's movement as a threat to the social order, especially because of his massive following and outspoken criticism of racial injustice. The FBI began monitoring his activities, ultimately targeting him with charges related to mail fraud associated with the Black Star Line. In 1923, Garvey was convicted and sentenced to prison, later deported to Jamaica in 1927. While Garvey's time in America ended abruptly, his impact endured. The UNIA had grown into one of the largest black organizations in the history of America, and Garvey's message of racial pride and economic empowerment continued to resonate. His ideas influenced the civil rights movement, inspired figures like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr., and laid the groundwork for Pan-Africanism. Garvey's legacy in America remains a powerful testament to his belief in the potential for unity and self-determination in the face of systemic oppression.